Okay, hey everybody. So I wanted to do an update video to the video I did about a month ago where we talked about the Raspberry Pi 3 and how it was doing with the N64 emulation. So I made some really cool adjustments since my first video. And the first video, with a good overclock, we weren't getting bad results. We were turning down the resolution, messing around with stuff. But some of the things that I found that have had a really cool effect outside of the standard, which you've already seen, are the core options inside of Mupen. And we'll share those settings in the comments and talk a little bit about them. But before we do, I am using an aggressive overclock, and I just want to reiterate some of the stuff we're talking about for a proper cooling setup. So this is a Raspberry Pi 3, and it's kind of how I set all of mine up. And we have the standard heat sinks, and these are epoxied onto the 3 cores that are on the Raspberry Pi. Then I have a JTech acrylic case for it, which what I like about this is the open ventilation, and I have the fan oriented to blow cold air down on top of the processor instead of sucking hot air away. That's something you might want to do if you had a closed case. You would flip the fan and actually bring the hot air out of the case, but in a ventilated case like this, it's far better to send cold air against the chip and out the sides. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and change the orientation of the TV. Okay, so I'm running the RetroPi 3.6 image. I do believe the 3.7 is ready to install from binaries, but I wanted to get this on video before I made any changes, just because I do like how things are set up right now. I'm using the Berry Boot SD card image, which I found has some really good overscan settings by default that work for me in my TV. So I'll share those as well. Kind of the first thing that I want to do and talk about is the run command menu. So this is no stranger. People have been talking about the run command menu. I just want to explain mine and some of the reasons I'm making choices that I make. So you can see here in my one category, I'm going with Glide N64 as the default. Now, in discussions and in the IRC chat room, a couple people have talked about how on the Raspberry Pi 2, the Glide plugin had memory leaks and constantly need to be rebooted. In extensive testing of mine, when using the Glide emulator, I have not had any memory crashes or any real necessity to reboot. So I think that may have been something to do with how it was written and the hardware that was underneath it. That could be unique to my overclock settings, but I just have not had problems with Glide that I've heard about people having on the 2. So if you do, let me know in the comments so I can look into it and investigate it. The reason that I want to go with Glide as the default is that inside of the core options, inside of the /ops/RetroPi/config/all folder, there is a options file that allows you to set a couple of different settings that aren't available in this run command menu. And that is overclocking. There's 2 overclocks, 2 staged overclocks, 1500 and 2200 for the Mupen emulator. And there's also the ability to turn the accuracy of emulation from low, medium, high to very high. So currently I have my accuracy set to high as opposed to the default, which is low. So that's what comes in a standard 3.6 image, Mupen out of the box. Accuracy is turned down to low. And so I've gone ahead and turned that up to high. As well as the 2200 overclock inside of the Mupen 64 core. Now, in some games it actually plays GoldenEye. You might see it right now. It almost seems like it's playing just a little bit too much, too fast. Smash is a little bit separate, but when I apply the 1500, those play well. But it affects games that are running better, such as Killer Instinct Gold runs better with a 2200 clock. So I'm hoping that I can convince the devs to allow us to change those settings in the run command menu. That way we can define it per ROM as instead of a global defined value. Down from that, this is no surprise, is the CEA1 or the 640 by 480 option as the default video mode for emulators is a really great way to get that video rendering improvement. And then a few of these. Glide is pretty much my go-to for everything, but there are a few that even with an overclock that glide isn't best for, and usually it's rice or glass. So just depending on which emulator, and we'll talk about those settings, and I'll share them in the comments of what I found. So really, I'm going to try. I've got a ton of games. Most of them work. I'm going to try to show ones that are the really important ones, and the ones that have struggled, or at least that I've seen other people's video, regardless of overclock settings, struggling, and we'll try to show the differences. So one of the things that I'll be able to point out early, this is the Glide emulator running GoldenEye. Now, on a default, no image changed. If you were to load this menu screen and load up this map with the Glide emulator, you would notice that the menu or the folder files here would all be garbled. So all of these objects would be garbled and would not be visible.
Thing really that hard to control?
It's because I play the joystick, so the motions are gonna look. It's not an analog stick; it's an actual it works like a D-pad. So the the motions are gonna that's not the emulation. That's just me.
Oh yeah, no, I know that much.
So if I pan left or pan right, but I don't know. I kind of prefer it because I don't have to worry about the y-axis. But then I can't playing on a joystick. I can't shoot those guys over here. Pretty happy. GoldenEye feels like full speed. This is a setting where the accuracy has been turned up to high, so everything feels as it should feel. I don't have any real tearing or graphic slowdowns. Speed feels great. We'll show off another game like Kazooie. This can be kind of even when I had just the standard 1400 overclock on it was still a little stuttery. Oh, that's right. It wasn't loading the save file. I'll show that one off later. Let's go to the next important one. So, Conker's Bad Fur Day, the multiplayer plays. The single player is still being a little funny. So here's a good example. Cruising USA, still really hard to get to play right. Even in these settings, it's still not perfect, but I think it's a little bit better playable than any other video I've seen of it. I'm going to get a little bit of slowdown right here. biggest problem it's going to have is just next to this pack of cars because it's rendering so many objects on the screen at once. But as soon as you get away from that pack, past the cars, it definitely becomes a lot faster, a lot more playable. Obviously, racing games not perfect on a joystick, but it's okay. I like playing on joystick. So I'm pretty happy with Cruising USA. Pretty much same effects in Cruising World and Exotica. Diddy Kong plays great. Oh no, one more so. Got Ivy and mess with Dawn Legends. Hey, Crasher. Yeah, that's why I haven't messed with Dawn Legends, because it crashed. Can we set that F0 here?
Yeah, pit stop right there. Get your energy.
No, I just broke front west. That's fine. That's all good. Okay. So here's one, Killer Instinct Gold. This is a really good example of a game that, even on a Pi 3, and tuning the settings to Glide is the best emulator for it. It's still got a little bit of input delay and a little rough, but I think I have it pretty set up pretty well. So this is going to be an example. me show you an example of where that was running. That definitely wants the 1500 megahertz overclock. So I made a change over here. And is the text readable from the camera? Okay, so what I'm going to do real quick is we're going to go to CD figs, CD all, ls. Okay, so the file that we want to edit that changes the options that I'm specifically talking about is this retroarch-core options.config.back. We do edit anyways, so I can't even tell where I am right now. Okay, there I am. So I'm gonna go, the overscan is kind of breaking this a little bit, but I think I can figure it out here. So I'm gonna go ahead, this virefresh option, so it's, what it says is Mupen 64-virefresh, and the option that I'm gonna go ahead and change here is to 1500. Because, and this is an example of a game, when I tested it, 1500 was working really smoothly, and when I bumped it up to 2200, and when I just launched Killer Instinct, I could feel the difference in speed. So Killer Instinct is one of the games that doesn't want the 2200, it wants 1500.
You could actually see it in the video.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it's the overscan is kind of like messing it up, but it gives you the general gist of it. I mean, I believe that's the setting that did it, because I mean, I played it 10 minutes ago and it felt perfect. But I bumped that over that setting up. Yeah, and then it doesn't stutter as much here. So it wants the 1500. Feels wrong for what it was earlier. Let me just try one quick thing. Did I try rice on it? I missed some setting up that I had made that made it optimal, and I will go back and figure out what it is later. But we'll continue on. Let's see here. Let's just go back to Nintendo 64. Let's go to Legend of Zelda. Time. So that's a ocarina.
Majora's Mask.
Which is that part? Which before the Mupen overclock, I had no faith in. Now it's all nicer. Remember, again, non-analog controller here.
This is Dark Forest, right?
Yeah, it's Dark Forest. Yeah, it's making it around. The C buttons do help. Yeah, it works like one plug-in this like went home mode. Oh, found a glitch. I'll work on that. It's probably like a plug-in thing, but I did find a glitch. 64 is fine. Alright, you're gonna have to walk me through Mario Party because I never did Mario Party. So Mario Party is on emulation was having an issue with the map not being correctly. This is, I guess I was asking, I never actually saw the problem because I didn't try to play it on the 2. But something about the map isn't rendered correctly, so after run me how to get to the map, because I never played this stupid game.
Let's say it right
Which one do I go to?
now. Well, no, you shouldn't have went to that
No,
one.
what?
You're actually going back into the game.
Oh, okay. How do you get to the map thing?
But that map was, that was where you were. You had to go back to one of those, I forget exactly which one it is, but it's not in the house. It's not in that little hut off to the side.
Oh, okay, so which one? Shop?
It's in one of those places, I forget which one. But it's not in the red house. In the little red knob, it's not there.
Minigame Islands?
It's not there.
Options house? That's settings. Bank? That's the shop. Should we something minigame house? Is it the option house? Minigame wrap?
Try to wrap. Because I know you go back down that hole, it's going to the game. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, map room is fine.
The map is fine. Yes, it works perfect. And that's probably the glitch they're talking about.
The glitch that I heard about was that you were unable to navigate the map.
Oh yeah, well, you just crushed that theory.
Well, if someone could give me better direction in the comments about the problems with Mario parties, I could go ahead and test and figure out, you know, if it's still broken or not after these settings have been changed. What I assume it is the accuracy setting. Mega Man plays a lot better on
Here we go. Mega Man. Wait a second. There should be a beaver bot around here somewhere. Can you see it? It looks like a small one. You should be able to take it down with your buster gun. Turn right there. Do you see a door? That should be the way out. It's not far from your current position. What? There's something right in front of you.
Star Fox 16. Ooh, Star Fox 16 always got a lot of improvement. So let's see. I'm just gonna load it. I've got a save point here, but I wanted to show the menu for a second. Like this render screen, if you compared to even just before I changed these Mupen options, this screen was a lot darker and not as sharp. So the effects that these settings have had on Star Fox have been really, really good. You can definitely see the.
Get back here! Flippy, walk out! Both of you on your tail!
Whoa! Help me! Thanks, bot. I thought they had me.
You're entering for area city now. This is horrible. Everybody, stay alert! You got an enemy on your tail! Use the brake!
You can shoot those doors and open them.
I don't know what C button B A. I I know I found the fire
I'll
button.
get this.
And the barrel
Get the
roll.
one behind.
Do barrel roll. So we're good.
Something's wrong with the data feed. Use the boost to take. I could use some help here, Fox.
Oh, shut up.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to back off. Do a barrel roll.
Barrel roll. Yeah, so Star Fox is looking real good.
Hold on.
21.
You good?
So here's another good benchmark of Shadows of the Empire is one of the games that's even with a good overclock on an RetroPi 3, it's still a little hard to play. But I think I've gotten it. I think I've got it pretty playable. Menu's still gonna stutter. That hasn't really affected the gameplay though. That stuttering right there may be a memory leak. The good test on this game is that when you circle the AT-AT, before I made the last round of optimizations, circling the AT-AT was just really, really, really wonky. still stutters, but it's definitely doable. So definitely the most playable. I've seen it on a Raspberry, so I'm happy with it. Check the next game. So here's a game that's pretty important, and where I'm seeing a lot of improvement with the last round of tweaks and settings that I've made. So a good barometer is this Yoshi stage, because it's putting so many characters. They're putting so many characters on the screen.
3, 2, 1, go!
A little slowdown right there. Nothing game breaking. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this again to the 2200 setting that was there before, and just show, because I think Smash does a good job of showing the difference between the 1500 and 2200 clock speeds. Let me reboot. Some of the options in that core input config apply immediately, some require a reboot. I believe the overclock does require a reboot. So in Smash, I'm just going to play the same two levels again so you can see the speed difference between 1500 and 2200. I wasn't like I didn't play Smash on the 64 a lot, so I'm still having a hard time telling if the 2200 is too fast.
They both run about the same as the actual game.
Yeah, I have to boot it up on the 64 and test it like side by side again, because I know that there's a noticeable speed difference in that second level. I just can't tell. I'm gonna have to like put it side by side and tell like which one's obviously the I don't know, the 2200 feels better to me, but that's one I gotta continue working with. And it's really good. Maybe this is another good indication. So one of the cool things about overclocking Glide is that there isn't a lot of need to change between emulators. Almost everything will play with Glide. There's one or two that I've just tested and seen better performance out of, like Rice, but it's almost unnecessary to change out of Glide unless you're really looking for accuracy differences or certain types of settings or certain types of play.
To start racing, select start the race. Welcome to Sunny Beach.
show and talk about how it affects the 64 settings. So everything that we were playing there, and I'm going to double check my config file, I think was set to either high or very high in the accuracy emulation. So we should go to cd/. So I'm going to go back to my core options file one more time. And so, okay, so we're showing... Okay, so for all the games that we tested, I had the GFX plugin accuracy setting set to high. Now, this is the setting when I talked about why glide is defaulted on almost everything that I have. This is a setting that only applies to the glide plugin. So if you switch something to, say, Rice, well, you're still getting the benefit of upping your Virefresh, which is the overclock, to 2200. You're still getting that that benefit, but you're not getting what glide is doing, which is this like accuracy emulation. So this can be changed between low, medium, high, and very high. So for those who want, like a very accurate feel of how the game originally played in the 64, the high or very high settings are preferable. Now, the third option that's really having like an effect and showing is the Mupen 64 frame rate option. So there seems to be a governor on the way that frames are rendered and displayed. So you can change this. The two options that are available are original and full speed. And so I'm going to change this just to full speed, and I'm going to leave the accuracy at high. As you bring the accuracy down, you will improve the performance of the game. You might see some things like you might feel some differences between the original game, because that's exactly what it's doing. Is the math in the math that it's running to emulate the game is not being as accurate. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this out. And save those settings, and then do a real quick reboot. And we're gonna go into some of the game. I think I'll try Killer Instinct again because it didn't feel like it felt earlier, which is a good lesson that before you modify any of these changes, I would definitely make just run a CP command, CP the file that you're gonna change, and of the original file. In case you want to go back to just default. And as you make different changes, I would probably get in the habit of backing them up instead of trying to remember it, because you're going to find something that works and the game plays really great, and then you're going to change it like I just did and forget how to get back to get that one game working. And as I said, this is some of these settings I'm hoping I can convince the devs to upstream into the run command tool. So let's go back and let's check if we got better for Killer Instinct. We definitely did not feel running the glide anymore. So the lesson learned there is when we change, it seemed to be the setting, the setting that we were talking about, which is switching from original to full speed in the frame rate. Definitely lets Killer Instinct hold. So it seems that in its original version, it's getting some sort of cap, which is causing a good amount of input delay. But switching to the full speed allows the game, in my hands, feels a lot better, a lot more responsive to the controls. It's graphically rendering better. It looks a little bit better. So that's a really good example of what that setting can do for you. And I'm going to go back one more time and just test out Smash again to see what kind of effect that full speed versus original frame rate has on it.
You can actually see the difference.
Yeah, this feels, it's a lot more responsive. From the 3 rounds of playing it, that one felt the smoothest and most responsive. But as I said, like, there is a mountain of different options to change and config and kind of play with that definitely have an effect on whether the game is playable, whether it works, and whether it looks and feels good. So let's try Cruisin' USA one more time, just as a benchmark to see what that full speed frame rate did.
Better rewind that.
Okay, I'll wrap it up real fast.
That actual setting that you just did is making them actually play a little faster, all of them. And this one isn't lagging so much.
Yeah, well, this one's just. This is just one of the, like, I mean, it's playing better than I've felt it play on, anything else. It's just this specific part where it renders all these, like, cars and stuff like that. After that, see what like we're away from the pack, the speed goes up. Controls become more responsive. It looks jagged right now because I'm playing with my joystick. But
Yeah, I think that's just the pie.
no, that jagged stuff right there is because there's
Oh no, I know about that. I'm just saying with the choppiness.
Well, I mean, like for example, when I had a soft modded Xbox, Mario Kart, when you would start the level, it would do like the beginning of this level. It was just rendering too much stuff was going on the screen, and it would bog out. But as the pack thinned, the game became like playable again. So, I mean, it has to do with how many items are on the screen that are being rendered.
Yeah.